Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony today. My name is Marlee, M-A-R-L-E-E, and I am a student and worker here in Lincoln, but sadly no longer a resident, but here to read a survivor story with permission from a Lincoln resident, Aaron Opperl. I am a survivor of this inhumane practice. One of the things I struggle with today as a result of this so-called therapy is called arrested emotional development. This is defined as the inability to mentally and emotionally develop past a certain age because of mental and emotional abuse. Since my time in conversion therapy, I still feel a need to ask for validation in every decision that I make because I desperately need approval from not only my family but also my peers. As a child, I had a verbally abusive father. When I was 15 years old, I remember my father saying two phrases that should have never been uttered from a parent. Quote, "I wish you were never born," or even a phrase more troubling for me, "You'll never amount to anything." Every single day I have to combat these phrases. When I was 18, my father passed away of cancer, but before he did, I mustered up the courage to forgive him. He told me he would have 15 sons like me just one day before his passing. 1 year later, I went to Love in Action, the most popular conversion therapy program at the time. The program aimed to fix people of their sexual sins, so I thought it would help. However, Love in Action only perpetuated and amplified the hatred that I already had for myself, as well as extenuating the verbal abuse from my father. It was this belief that I would never be good enough so long as I stayed gay. When I was in Love in Action, they staged a mock funeral for me in which they shamed me for having an affair from a man from work. According to the leader, I had a history of destructive behavior. As I laid on the table with my eyes closed, other clients approached and expressed eulogies of anger, shame, or disappointment. I was told after the funeral that if I returned home, I would most certainly die. And if I decided to attend a gay-affirming church, that I would be creating my own brand of religion so that I would be accepted by God. It amazes me to this day that suicide was never an option to me. It was ruined my relationship with God or any higher power. I have been seeing a therapist to combat depression, mild to moderate PTSD, self-hatred, and addiction that I still deal with today. I'll conclude with an excerpt from my friend's book, Boy Erased by Garrett Conley, that explains the collapse of my faith in so many of my friends who went through this psychological torture. And God, I will not call on God at any point during this decade-long struggle, not because I want to keep God out of my life, but because his voice is no longer there. What happened to me has made it impossible to speak with God, to believe in a version of him that isn't charged with self-loathing. My ex-gay therapist took him away from me, and no matter how many different churches I attend, I will feel the pang of a deep love now absent from my life. Perhaps one day I will hear his voice again. Perhaps not. It's a sadness I deal with on a daily basis. Aaron was not able to attend today, but thank you so much for listening to his story.
Thank you, Marlee. Appreciate it.